Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Aquatic Morning Show, where the aquarists go to be in the know on your Aquatic Morning Show. And it is Monday morning, and we've got Mexicali Fishkeeper. Come on up.
Good morning, everybody.
He gets to start a Monday morning out with me, and we've already had issues.
Yeah, you had me on the show. That's the first issue.
No. We've got some kind of, you know what I was thinking?
What's that?
Could it by chance? So we've got a noise in here that keeps sound. It sounds like either a cricket, a cicada, or something. But it keeps going off and on, and I can't find it. Well, do plug-in strips make noises like that if they're going out?
Well, they can, but I don't think they would intermit like the way they're doing it. I mean, they would just hum.
Yeah.
It would be interference, and I think it would be consistent. But the way it's going on, it would almost seem like it's there you go. Sounds like an insect or a fan or something like that. But you say you're not running any fans, so it can't be a fan.
Yeah, not a fan, and it's when I go, and it stayed out the longest when I touched that a plug-in for the heater that goes into that strip down there. So I don't know. We'll see. Y'all bear with me, and if it gets too bad, I mean, I don't know what to do, but we're just going to keep rolling with the punches. So, well, thank you so much for being here. I know that you have a day job, and so we've had to play with schedules, but that was the easiest thing to do was just send me your schedule, and then we go from there.
Usually it is because my schedule is very, very odd because it's not your typical Monday through Friday kind of schedule, and I do work shift work, so it just so happens that these next 7 days I'm going to be working what's known as swings from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So now, I get the morning.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a dam. I'm an operator. I control the gates that go up and down and let water be delivered on the Colorado River. Yes.
Oh, cool.
So that's what I do.
I learned this weekend when we went up to the Caddo. It's called the Caddo Gap, but it's got dams on it, and it was real low this weekend, and there were spots in the river that we actually had to stand up and pull our tubes across because it was just too shallow. Well, we learned that there are three dams above that, and that they used to hold it off or hold the water up during the week above it, and then on the weekends they would flood it or let it come down so that the creek where they have the tourism at would be a lot higher than what it was. And they used to do that. They don't do it now, or haven't done it, I guess, the last few years. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the bad C word, but that was pretty cool. That I thought that was neat because they could control it and for tourism.
Well, ours is more for agriculture because
that's awesome too.
That's primarily what that water is for off the Colorado River, is because they're growing vegetables out here in the desert. So the whole Imperial Valley and the Yuma Valley produce, I don't know, about 80% of the fruits and vegetables mostly vegetables for the country. So.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of lettuce, a lot of your melons, watermelons, cantaloupe, stuff like that comes from this area. So that's the purpose of why we control that water, is to be able to have water down here for the farmers.
Now, what do they, if they are running out of water or whatever, they just contact y'all and they're like, hey, we need some water? Yeah,
well, what happens is they kind of try to play a prediction game based on historical records. They're allotted so many acre feet of water per year. And so they always try to predict what's going to be coming up for the next year. And they'll order so many acre foot of water, and we have to provide that for them through the course of the year. Which is why we have the dams, because that way we regulate how much water we're releasing at one time or another, so that none of it gets wasted.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty it's pretty interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
it,
I'm
all the
fantasized about it.
all the engineering behind it is incredible because this is before the advent of a lot of technology that exists today. So just to think about when these structures were built, because it was in the early 1900s and they're still standing today, and
Yeah,
you know they're still
still
functioning.
working.
Yeah.
And now, did they like farmers? Did they like fight over water back, and so that's why they dammed it up, or what was the reason for damming it up?
Well, the reason was to control it so that it
Okay,
doesn't flow all the way, straight into Mexico and dumps out into the Sea of Cortez.
so it can
And
be
the
used more up
yes,
the lands instead of flowing all the way out to the ocean.
yeah.
Huh.
Although right now, because it's run off the Colorado River, they've had like some historical 11-year drought or something like that, and they're saying if things don't change pretty quick within the next 7 years, we might be out of water for irrigation. So I know Lake Mead up by close to
Yeah,
Las Vegas
that's
is
the one that
it's
we're hearing about that keeps losing like so many feet a day or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah, that's
The
crazy.
shores have receded so much that they're finding stuff that sunk years ago.
Yeah,
They're finding it at the bottom of the dam down there.
there's
So
a YouTuber that goes on that lake a lot and has like documented everything. And when they find the new things, they're not. I guess technically they're not allowed to take them or touch them or anything like
yeah,
that. But there's has something to say like there's some kind of treasure that they're still waiting to find that's supposedly down there. But
oh okay,
he's done really well covering just that lake.
yeah, it's pretty bad. You look at the pictures and you see
Yeah,
where the old shoreline used to be at compared to what's now. It's pretty drastic, and it makes you kind of think, oh wow, if this keeps up, what are we gonna do? But for right now, I know a lot of the farming industry down here has implemented a lot of ways to conserve water. So that's kind of with the route they're going now. So
is it
if
illegal
you
to catch rainwater where you're at?
no, it's just we don't get rain. It's a desert.
Took your rain.
You
Gee.
know, if it rained, they probably wouldn't have to worry about using the river for irrigation. But no, we're down here. It's a legitimate desert that we've we've kind of made it become green because they've been able to tap into the Colorado River.
Wow.
Um, it's kind of like you see Palm Springs out there where they have all these nice lush golf courses. Well, that's not realistic. That's artificially created there with all the water they're using. But
Wow.
but yeah, no, yeah, it's desert down here.
Wow. Well, let me run through the good mornings. I just jumped right off into good conversation. So, Bunny Viper, good morning. Good to see you. Just said she needed to stop by when she was heading into an appointment. Love you all. Hope you all have an outstanding day. And we hope that as well for you. Mystery Snail Guardians, selling it from the start. Yeah, I was very late in getting this stream up today, but please forgive me for that. I
I'm
played
trying to
too
figure
hard
out the
this
noise.
weekend. John Larson, good morning. Gina's Reef, Sky Dancer, Barbara Jackson, Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics, Rising Sun Aquatics, Atomic Injections 47, GRV, good to see you. Let's see. Monster Fish Gal, Miss Lori. Kenny, good morning, Kenny. And there's Dr. Anthony.
Hey,
Oh, you know what? Let me take care of you right now, Doc. Just hold your little fishes. I just did what you told me to do. If that's not really what you want, don't tell me to do it. Hold on. Let me get that mod status going here. Just a minute.
yeah, Dr. Anthony is exactly from the same area I'm from, so he knows
Really?
exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
from
cool.
Imperial Valley.
Um, And did not get the link sent out to the crew this morning either. So if there's any of the crew that wants to join us, please let me know. I just, like I said, I was late getting it created, and now stuff's falling off, and now it's hitting me.
Versus the noise, now stuff is falling.
Yeah, I must have a ghost in here this morning. Man. Nope, don't you start doing that again. I got a ghost. That's all it can be. I'm just going to blame it on that. My fish tanks, aquatics. Good morning. John Larson. Good morning. Let's see. Oh, Bigfoot fish tanks. Dennis, hey. Oh, it jumped. Okay. Craig Doniger. Good morning. Dee Dee. Good morning, Dee Dee. Yeah, I know Dee Dee is on her way to a something. I don't remember what exactly. Something. But let's see. I tell you what, for the crew, and you know who you are, here's the link in chat. I'm just going to do it that way today. All right. There you go. Okay. Nope. I've got this little stick that I keep beating this thing with every time it starts and it stops. So I don't know what I'm going to do to find it afterwards, but I'm just going to keep hitting it through the screen.
Magic wand.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if that rattling was in my room, I'd be out of here because that would probably be a rattlesnake.
It better not be. It better not be. Now you got me looking for a snake. Curled up somewhere eating fish.
Yeah.
No. Surely the dogs would smell it though, right?
Yeah, no. I'm just kidding because out here we're in the desert, so they're pretty common.
Your
Once
computer
in a while.
has no sound. Doc, what's wrong with your computer?
Oh.
He says his computer has no sound, or he would join us.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Well then.
He's probably down in Peru then. He's probably having issues down there.
Yeah, he's still down there. I believe he's still down there. I think he was going down for several weeks this time.
Yeah.
But let's see. GRB says, awesome Mexicali. I operated an industrial wetland system. We converted industrial wastewater, NH3 rich wastewater into reusable water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he's over at, I don't remember where he's at. He's over in Australia? Is it Australia? UK? Somewhere like that. I don't remember. I'm sorry, GRB.
Yeah, it's crazy because I know our sewage plants down here, they have to treat the water, and they're required to clean that water so well that by the time it comes out of there, you can literally drink it, but just because you know where it's coming from, people can't get past that. The only issue that I've always kind of had with that is I don't know why they don't use that same water to be able to irrigate grasses and parks and stuff like that. They just put it back into the wasteways, and it goes and it just it gets lost. But they have to treat it and clean it up. Usually it's cleaner than when it goes in. I mean, literally. But I mean, I'm talking if you go to compare to some of the city tap water, it's much cleaner than that. And it's just kind of frustrating that they don't put it to good use because it's they just kind of let it go down and go where it's going, I guess. But
right, yeah. Don't even begin to start trying to figure out the government.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they have something to do with it. GRB, thank you. Jack and Dan, good to sound you. Good to hear, good to see you. Good grief. And he said, early meeting today, sounds off, chat on. Okay, good deal. Well, thanks for being here. I haven't seen you guys in months. But so I have killies, and everybody keeps telling me that you're a killie man.
I don't know where they get that from. I have a couple of killies, but I'm not. That's not necessarily my strong suit.
I
Uh,
think, like me, I think because I've got 3 or 4 strains that that kind of tags us as being killies, because there aren't that many killies that not many killie people around. Hey, look
I
who
guess
tried
so.
to come on up.
Hey,
Hey, Dr. Anthony, how you doing?
hey, I'm on my phone. Oh, forget it. If Kenny E's here, I'm not going. I mean, gee.
Hey, Kenny.
How you doing there, fellas and ladies?
Good.
Good, good.
Thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, I'm sorry I was late getting the stream started this morning, and I was good to even get it sent to Mexicali.
Now, are you still in Peru, Dr. Anthony, or are you back home?
I'm in Peru until September, the 1st of September.
Did you choose that? You chose to go back there for that long?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I have lots of work to do, so you know.
Were you guys able to fix the leaks on those tanks?
What we ended up doing, and they're just finishing up today, is that we use the tanks themselves as the outside bracing for cement tanks. So they're basically cement tanks now. 6 weeks of trying to figure it out, and that's life.
Yeah.
Trying to get the light.
So outside, they're not leaking because you concreted the seams in?
Well, we basically
Or
just
covered up all of the everything?
Yeah, everything is now. It's just it's a concrete tank. It just happens to have a plywood outside. It's just like we made
Like
made
a
the
form.
forms, and we just didn't take the outside forms off. We took the inside forms off.
Okay, I understand.
So hopefully it'll work. I mean, we have to. Next step is we have to use epoxy paint, 2-part epoxy, or here it's 3-part epoxy to waterproof the cement, and then hopefully that works. If it doesn't, then I'm committing suicide.
Don't do that.
It ain't worth all that now. Come on.
I don't know. It's been frustrating this summer.
Scotty the Fishery, good morning. Barbara Jackson, good morning. I don't remember if I said good morning to you.
Sorry, Mexicali, for raining in on your parade.
No, I'm happy you're on. Now we got 2 people representing the Imperial Valley.
Probably the only 2 people on YouTube.
Well, there's more. Oh, on YouTube probably, but I know there's more people streaming and watching. So
yeah,
it's just nice from such a small town to be able to have 2 people on there from there. So
is it a small town?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
the whole area is small. I mean, I grew up in the town. My town is 2 towns over, or 1 town over from Calexico, where he grew up. But my town was 3,000 people. Yeah. So
to most places, that's pretty small then.
Yeah.
What's the valley now? About 100,000, maybe, the entire valley.
Yeah. So 5, 6 towns with only 100,000 people in it.
That ain't a lot.
No.
¿Dónde vamos? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
our manager just walked out, so he doesn't understand English, so he has no idea what's going on here. So,
or at least he pretends he doesn't.
Yeah. He understands like 1 out of 100 words, and he'll say the word to me like, "Oh, okay."
Dr. Anthony, GRB wants to know if you have any in-ground ponds as of alternative to your tanks out. Let's see.
Yeah, we do have ponds on the land, but those aren't display ponds. You can't see the fish. We're using those as educational ponds for the fishermen. We're we've shown we can raise and breed epistogrammas in the pond with no problems. And right now, we haven't checked, but in January, we used the pond for red pencil fish, which are a critically endangered fish here in Peru. So we put in 100 fish, 50 males, 50 females, and then we're going to sample it within a week to see if there's more than 100. If there's more than 100, then that means they reproduced. And so, we can teach the fishermen that these fish are from about 10 hours away from Iquitos. And so we're going to go into those areas and teach them how to do aquaculture.
That's
Nice.
easy to learn. Not easy to learn. I don't feel like aquaculture is easy to learn.
Well, but this aquaculture is different because you don't have to feed the fish. We don't feed any of our fish that are in the pond unless they're, big catfish. But the smaller fish, there's enough microorganisms, there's enough natural insects that are living in the system that they can eat. So, yeah, it's not like it's in aquaculture where you have to feed the fish every day and lots of food to have this intensive aquaculture. It's fairly easy. The only thing is, many of them think we're trying to change their lifestyle, trying to make them not fish, and that's not what we're doing. We're trying to make them have an income all year long because they can't fish during the high water season. And unfortunately, the water still has not gone down this year. It's normally down by the 1st of June, and here we are in the middle of July, and the water is still high. So this year is a really crazy season. So they're not catching fish right now.
Peru's wet and California's dry.
Yep.
So Mexicali, did you get all your plants planted? I saw that big old bucket of plants and fish you got. Somebody give you the hookup?
Right there, right behind me.
So what did you get? Tell me what happened.
A gentleman here in town, I guess he works in the transportation industry, so he has to be away from home for several weeks. So he couldn't keep up with the tanks that he had. So he had to pretty much downsize. So he ended up calling me and asked me if I was interested in picking up some of his fish and some plants that he had from some tanks that he was breaking down. But it was interesting. I thought originally I was just going to go pick up some ember tetras. I ended up getting those, some green fire tetras, some cardinal tetras, 3 peacock gudgeons, a nice yo-yo loach that I got in my 75-gallon tank, a whole bunch of Anubiuses on rocks. I don't know. Easily all the stuff said and done with the hardscape, the plants, and the fish had to be in excess of $300 worth of stuff. So I was, and he just wanted to know if I wanted to. He just wanted to make sure that if I was going to keep them healthy, and he's kind of seen my tanks, so he knew they would do fine here. So, but I was surprised. I didn't think I thought I was just going to go pick up a few fish, and ended up walking out with half a fishery.
We've got a few people that have came in chat and they're joined us. We've got the Garden of Eden and then Shelby as well.
What up, Grant and Shelby?
Window Liquor number 5 made it to another live.
Window Liquor.
And Brandon, the Blind Fishkeeper, he said, how are those severance treating your plants?
Who's Severance?
I don't know. Who's Severance?
Severance must be talking about.
Severance?
Yeah, I don't have any Severums, so it's not me who he's asking. You, Kenny?
I don't. The tanks I have Severums in, I don't have any plants. I know better. I know better. They just eat them.
I've learned that the Buenos Aires tetras love Vallisneria.
Oh,
They won't touch my Amazon swords or anything like that, but any jungle val that I put in there, they'll nip it all the way down to the rhizome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the rosette, not the rhizome, the rosette. And I didn't know that was them until the other day. I actually was putting some in there in that tank, and I started watching them, and you could see them just start from the tip and it's almost like a little cartoon. They'll nibble it all the way down. So that's something that I learned from those fish. But they won't touch the other plants. I have Luigi in there. They don't touch that. I have some Pogostemus. They don't touch that either. But for some reason, the jungle val they love.
Lena's laying at my feet, y'all, like she normally does, and that noise is gone. Freaking weird. That's all I can say.
So how hot you gonna be today, Dr. Anthony, down there?
It's probably only going to be, well, we're having strange weather. Like I said, it's been raining. Probably high 80s. Unless the sun comes out, then it'll be low 90s. Even when it's low 90s with the clouds, it's a lot better. I mean, you walk outside and I instantly am drenched. But
so you're going to be cooler than most of the country right now, then.
Yeah, but when the sun's out, oh man, it's an oppressive heat here. I mean, really oppressive.
Is it the heat or is it the humidity?
It's both. It's like how August used to be in the valley.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is every day here. Where we grew up, we had the summer monsoons. We never got the rain, but we got the humidity that hit Arizona. And boy, it was miserable when we were growing up.
Yeah, it'd be 110, 90 degrees, 90% humidity.
Yeah.
Well, Mexicali was showing his fish on that video, and he showed the thermometer. It was 99 degrees in his fish room. I'm like, oh, yeah, man.
It's 89 right now in the garage. So,
oof,
it's not even 7. Well, it's about to be 7:30 here. So
we're going to be 97 here today.
Oy.
We'll be about 100. We're going to be about 100.
Yeah, but for Portland, that is hot.
It is. But I'm not complaining this year. We've only had I think this is going to be the first 90-degree weather we've had all year. So I'm not complaining. If we're halfway through July and we're just starting to see our first 90 degrees, I'm happy.
Yeah, when my wife and I retire, when I retire finally, we're probably going to move to the Portland area or somewhere in Oregon because that's where most of her sisters live. But I tell her I'm going to move her to the Imperial Valley. And I told her once that when she dies, I'm going to bury her in the Imperial Valley. And our daughters told her, "Don't worry, Mom, we'll come rescue you. We'll dig you out of the ground," because she just hates the desert, can't stand the desert. And so it's our running joke.
The problem down here is that the heat doesn't subside. Most areas it'll get 100 degrees, but when the sun goes down, it might drop like 20 degrees, and it'll be nice and cool in the evenings. Out here, it's not uncommon. You can be out at midnight, and it's still 100 plus. It's just there's so much concrete and asphalt that it just absorbs all that heat all day long, and at night it's releasing it, so it's always hot. You don't get a break from the weather down here.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing about Oregon, we'll be 97 degrees today, and then about 7 o'clock, when the sun starts to get a little lower, you get a little breeze off the coast, and it'll be by 10 o'clock, it'll be back down in the 60s.
Kenny, y'all don't have an air conditioner, do you?
I have one in my room.
Okay.
Rest of the house, no, I don't have AC.
Like what they call it, central air and heat.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we would not do well without it.
We're looking into those little Mitsubishi units, those wall units. We're going to get one for upstairs, one for downstairs.
Yeah.
They're not cheap though. They want like $7-8 grand a head for those things. They're not cheap at all.
That's why I haven't gotten that one for my fish room outside yet, because they ain't cheap. The desert is an amazing and fascinating place, but too hot. Desert ain't for me. I like my color. I like my green oak trees and grass.
I spent way too much time out in 29 Palms, out in the stumps back in my Marine days. I got plenty of desert back in those days.
Oh yeah.
But when I was a kid, it'd be 120, 115, and we would go to the swimming pool. I basically was raised in the swimming pool. Did lifeguarded, did swim team and everything. But we would walk barefoot on the asphalt without any problems. You know, by the end of summer, your feet were all calloused, so you never even felt it. I could have been a fire walker then.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the asphalt is 55, 60. My feet, oh, too hot on my feet. You know, it's amazing what kids can do.
So Mexicali, how do you keep your temps regulated with those kind of temps in the garage?
Right.
You didn't see his video? Man, these people don't follow our videos at all. Man, he had a video on it. Jeez.
Yeah, I run fans. I run fans and a lot of air in the tanks. You know, just trying to get a lot of water movement, a lot of agitation on the surface of the tanks. Basically, what I have set up in here is like a giant evaporator cooler. With all the fans running, I have no lids on the tanks, so almost on a daily basis, I've got to add at least an inch and a half of water to the tanks because I'll lose it to evaporation. My humidity doesn't spike very high because it's so dry down here that, you know, it doesn't. I'm not worried about getting mold because I don't think it lasts that long in the atmosphere. But I just have a giant fan on the floor, another one that's hanging from the roof, and I try to get the kind of like what you do in your tanks where you get the water to circulate in there. It's kind of the same effect I have in my fish room. And it's, you know, waters, I'm not going to say, they'll probably be mid 80s, maybe mid to high 80s. And periodically I'll do water changes in the evening just to try to bring the temperature down. If it gets, you know, like in the mid 90s or something. But bringing it down really is just about 85. I mean, I can't really bring it any cooler than that because it's just the water.
Danny and I, we have put a bunch of milk jugs in the freezer, and that's what I do for the tanks in the garage when it starts, because I don't like them to get much hotter than 80 to 82. So I will throw milk jugs full of ice in the tanks, and that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, no, mine, I guess because the temperature is just gradual throughout the day and it's consistently that warm, you know, I guess the fish just adapt. I mean, I try to help as much as I can with making sure. You know, the reason I tend to do a little bit more water changes during the summer, besides trying to lower the temperature a little bit, it's more trying to keep bacteria at bay. This is the first time I've had this many tanks in the fish room. Usually, before I had about 8. Now I have 17 that I'm running. And I only have one tank that I've been recently having an issue with bacteria problems, and that's in my 75-gallon tank with the electric blue Aquarium. And I'm getting issues with Popeye. And I've been treating it with salt and some bacterial medicine. And I've got it under control, but it's getting better, but not as quickly as I like to see it. And on that tank, I am doing massive water changes, probably more than 100%. Because what I do is I flush them. I'll put a hose in to draw the water out, and I'll run my other faucet, and I'll run it for until I can feel the temperature just dropping. And but I'm probably doing more than 100% water changes on those tanks.
What is the temp of your water coming out of the tap? Like your cold water?
It'll probably be about 82, 83 maybe.
Yeah.
So, but that's still cooler than when it gets up to 92, 90. I think I've had it hot in here, almost like 95, but at that point I can see the fish stressing out, so I'll try to get some fresh water in there. You know, and I haven't lost anybody yet. Well, take that back. I did lose one of the Acaras because I didn't catch the Popeye on one of them first, but that happened like overnight. And now that tank I'm kind of keeping under close observation. It seems to be doing better now, but that one also, what I did find, because I do run a little bit deeper substrate, and I don't normally gravel back my tanks. That one I had to go in there because there was a lot of still moam and detritus kind of trapped in between the rockwork. And I don't know if that's a little bit of the corporate that was causing that issue with the eye. But since I've gotten in there and cleaned out most of that and doing my regular water, I mean, not regular, I'm talking about almost daily water changes, he's getting a lot better. And his eye's starting to improve. But that's the only one that I've had an issue with. All the other ones are fine. But then again, probably because just the waste from these other fishes are small fish. They don't, and I have them in big tanks. The bio load is not that heavy. On the electric fluorocarbon, there was 6 of them, and they're pretty good sized tanks. And then I have the Buenos Aires in there, so the bio load in that tank is a little bit. It's probably the heaviest one that I have, other than the goldfish. But the goldfish are fine. They're troopers. Hadn't had any issues with them so far. Knock on
You have
wood.
a hard time keeping an axolotl then.
Oh yeah, no. Axolotls are not for me here. If my wife let me keep tanks inside, I just put it under one of the air conditioner vents and it would be fine.
Yeah.
But no, they're not for me.
I gotta leave you guys.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
Good to see you, Dr. Anthony.
Yep.
Thanks for dropping by.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
You too. And Greg is in chat. Good morning, Greg. I think you might have called me, Greg, and I didn't call you back. I'm sorry. I'll call you later. Jeffrey Watts, good to see you. Only Oscars, good morning. Let's see. I think that was.
So what I'm watching, I keep watching the fish off to your, I guess it'd be your right. You got it's either guppies or something. What is that you have up there? I see a bunch of schooling fish.
In here, yeah, these are just mud guppies, I guess you could call them that, or they're not a particular strain of guppies. These I started out with your typical 6 from PetSmart, and they've started growing, reproducing and all that, and they've thrown different colors. And on this very far tank, it's just whatever was in there. And then this tank, I was trying to breed out a line, but it's challenging. Yeah, I gotta start selecting. I have to start selecting the ones that I want to keep as far as the look of them, and then find some females that haven't been hit by some of the males. So.
I just went through that myself, but I had some I was working with, and I pretty much gave up.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I like watching them. I like the way they respond to, when you get near the tank, and how they all come up to the top, and they're always busy, and that's why I keep them. Other than that, and then also if people are trying to get into the hobby and they're looking at starter fish or whatever, I have some here that I can give them, and it's something easy to start off with, because they're pretty resilient. So and they're used to my weather, so they'll do fine in just about any tank. Yeah, but I have those. I guess predominantly live bears is what and that's because here in town the only thing I have is a PetSmart. That's the only store that I have access to fish. So when I started getting into the hobby, all my fish predominantly are what you would find at a PetSmart or a Petco. I don't have anything too exotic. It wasn't until I started going to some of the fish clubs that I started picking up, the stuff you would find at a local fish store. So I have the least killifish. Those are kind of the newest addition to my room. I have the Phineas mentals that are not your regular, typical big box store kind of fish. But just about everything else, I think I could buy at the local PetSmart. Oh, and the black chin live bears, those are also from one of the local breeders at one of the fish clubs that I went to. But other than that, it's mostly stuff you can pick up at a big box store.
So there's no LFSs close to you?
No, the closest one are either 3 hours west or 3 hours east. I sit right in the middle between Phoenix, Arizona, and San Diego. So, it's not hard to figure out where I usually go in the summertime and where I go in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, either way, it's a 3-hour drive for me. And that would be the closest, not only local fish shops, but also fish clubs.
Hey,
So.
what are the names of the types of killies that you do have?
I have the least killifish. Those are, I guess, native fish for here for the states,
Right.
predominantly out in Florida, I guess. And the other ones are the Aphidius menthos, and those are from the Middle East. And they're not annuals. These are perennials, I guess, or I don't know what they call them. But I've had them. I started out with 6 of them, and I was breeding them outdoors in a 40-gallon tote that I had set up as an aquarium, and kind of just set it and forget it. Left them. The only thing I did right around this time of the year, because the weather is way too hot, I just moved them under my covered patio and let them run there. And had put in a few strains of jungle vel, and it just covered the entire tub. And they just reproduced it there. I never had an idea. Yeah, those iridescent tooth carp is also the common name that you'll find them under. And I didn't have an idea I was gonna. The only reason I broke down that tub is because it got brittle from being outdoors in the sun and the temperature down here, and it cracked on one of the corners. So I had to break it down, and I took all the jungle val I had in there, and then when I started draining it down, I noticed how many of these killifish I had in there, and that's how I ended up with so many. But I haven't really. I have another 20-gallon tub that I'm keeping inside the garage now, and I'm just letting it do its own thing. There's not. They're not really that difficult to breed, actually. I have them. I almost in all my tanks. I throw a 3-0 here and there just to make sure if I have a issue with the tank that I have, that I don't lose the entire colony.
Right.
So,
So they lay their eggs, scatter their eggs, but they
yeah.
predate on them. Then.
Well, they will. They will, but most of my tanks are heavily planted. The ones that they do the best in is the ones where I have green hair algae, because that's typically the way they're done out in the wild, and they can hide the fry can hide in there real well, and they can have more success. Although I have a 55-gallon community tank that I threw a trio in there, and I could see 2 fry that have 2 juveniles that they made it through. So, I mean, you can successfully do them in just about any tank. You're just not going to have a lot of fry survive. But if you have enough plants in there, you can get them. You'll have some in the long run. Just not as many as if you purposely breed them. But yeah,
Good morning. And Alishon said that the least killie is not really a killie, but it's a live bearer.
Yeah, it is a live bear.
Yeah, we keep them too. They're cool little fish. Tiny little guys, itty bitty.
Why did if they're live bears like guppies, then where does the killie part come in with them? Why
I don't know.
Call
I
them
think that
killie? These killies.
I think there's a couple of killifish that could actually have live fry. I think. I like I said, I don't know why people say I'm a killie person, but those are the only 2, and that I have, and it wasn't like I was intentionally trying to keep them. But I know the problem with killifish is I can't find too many. I don't have access to those websites that really have the in-depth knowledge on them. Most of the stuff that I've seen is just copy and paste from some other website, because it always seems to be exactly the same verbiage that I find. I know, like on the Aphidius mentals, I'm still in search of a good site with more in-depth information. You get the generic stuff where they can range the temperature ranges, where they're from, but I'd like to be able to find a little bit more scientific information on them.
Right.
But I haven't been pointed to the right direction yet.
The American Killie Association. I know that Scotty the Fishery knows more about that.
Okay.
But
Triple Crown, baby. I bet you could get some ones down there.
Yeah.
Here in about 2 weeks.
That's true. The thing.
Go ahead, Jess.
The thing that I worry about, like me, I mean, I buy fish. I do have some that I do, like, of course, But if I'm buying one, I usually want to breed it so that I like the fish, but also want to sell the offspring. And with killies, that's hard because they're not that common and not sought after as much
Yeah.
as say guppies. Even though some of them are as much or prettier than guppies, but I don't know.
Yeah, no. What I like about the ones that I have is that I don't have to pull the eggs and put them in soil and let them sit for a while.
Yeah.
They'll hatch in the tanks themselves. The other thing is these guys do great in my weather. They're I can leave them and I don't run any. This is the only tank that I don't worry about it getting into the 90s because they'll be fine. Um, you know, and in the winter I don't run a heater in it, so they really do range in that wide range of temperatures. Down here in the winter, the coldest it ever gets is maybe the low 40s, and I had these guys outdoors as long as they were like again under the covered. They were fine. The temperature would just change gradually over time, and they just, become dormant, I guess, or just like any cold water fish, and I wouldn't have any issues with them. So
Right.
that's why I really like these guys because they're perfect for out here. And the guy that brought him out here, that was the intention that why he got him because he was looking to be able to get some fish that he could breed outdoors out here in our weather. And they're troopers. They're pretty sturdy.
Ian said a lot of the killies are critically endangered. I like preservation in the hobby should be the focus, other than trying to sell for profit. I think that there's room for both.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like
I don't.
you have to be stuck to one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't sell my stuff. I just keep it because I enjoy it. But I haven't gotten to that point. Problem also down here, trying to sell stuff, it gets real complicated because of the weather, uh, especially in the summer. If I was gonna sell, it'd have to be in the winter, but then I deal with the issue of where it's going, where it might be too cold. So
Yeah.
that's why most of my stuff is for my own particular enjoyment, or I'll trade with other hobbyists for fish that they might have that I'm interested in. But I just keep them for my own personal enjoyment. And like you said, a lot of people don't know about these. People that are interested in them, I've usually done fish swaps with them again because if my colony crashes and they have a few that they've been able to keep alive, maybe we can, I can be able to recuperate some of the fish that I might have lost. But that's one of the reasons. These are the only ones that I'm not too worried about ever shipping because again, they can tolerate quite a range of temperatures, and I'm not too concerned. I wouldn't do it right now in the middle of summer, but maybe in September or October when the weather starts getting a little bit better, I could ship them off with no problem. I don't even have to put a heater in the box or anything like that.
Yeah. Papa Shrimp, good morning. Stephen woke up.
So you say you're 3 hours outside of Phoenix. Have you ever taken the time to go over and check out the Cichlid Shack yet?
I haven't, not the Cichlid Shack. And actually, I've done a couple of tours of the stores down there. Because I get to go up there about once a month whenever we have the club meeting. I'll drive up there. So usually what I'll try to do is our meetings are usually around noon. So I'll try to get up there. I'll leave here maybe 6 in the morning. By the time I get up there, it's 9:30. I'll call ahead or send a message ahead to the fish store and let them know, hey, do you mind if I go film? And I've been lucky so far right now that they've let me in right before they open, so I can get in there and be able to film the store and and do that. But no, I haven't reached out to the Cichlid Shack. I know Phoenix must have, I think now, about 8 or 9 different local fish stores down there, and that's not including the saltwater stores that they have up there.
Well, I
Do
tell
you
you,
have
if you ever
saltwater?
get a chance, check it out. I went to that when I was on my fish fam tour. I love that place. The Cichlid Shack was really cool. And
Yeah, I know I know Ben Orchard was just out there this last month or at the beginning of this month, and they've really come. They used to be predominantly, I guess, African cichlids, but now he's got a lot of the smaller, the dwarf cichlids, and he's starting to incorporate more nanofish into his store, and that's why I want to go. I guess you could say, I keep mostly uh, the smaller fish, so that's usually what I try to go to the stores that I go to and look at is usually what I'm looking at. But yeah, I definitely have to take a trip up there.
Science Gal, good morning, Carrie. And Jay Oliver, good morning to you. He got a big order of guppies in yesterday, too. So what not plants, what fish are you wanting to get, next? Like,
right now, none. Because, nothing. No, not anything right now. Just because I'm running out of space.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to. Right now, I think the amount of tanks that I have is about the most I can manage at the time. Because none of this is automated. It's all
Right.
done. Water changes by hand, and everything is enclosed within a loop, like a horseshoe loop in here, and I can access everything all at once. But no, right now, not until either some of these fish start maturing and just kind of living their lifespan. I don't think I'm picking up anything new. Um, I Yeah, I'm pretty much maxed out as to what I can keep in my tank. I do have to set up. I still have maybe 6 more 10-gallon tanks that I could potentially set up. I do have the peacock gudgeons that I think I'm going to try to set their own tank up for them and see if I can get them to breed. But other than that, mostly it's all community fish. I keep several different species in most of my tanks, and that's it. I Right now it's just I'm maxed out. I think
Right.
eventually down the road, I like to do some discus just because they're conducive to my temperatures down here. I wouldn't have a trouble keeping them warm. So if anything, maybe some of the warmer temperature fish, but
Yay.
that's about it.
So what size tanks do you have? Do you have like any nano tanks, or are they all like bigger tanks?
No, I have they all range. The smallest tanks I have are 10 gallons, and the largest tank I have is this one directly behind me, but it's a 4 foot by 2 foot by 30 inches, and it's a 150-gallon tank. And I have some angelfish in there, some rainbow fish, and some cories. What else do I have in there? Some tetras, and it's. But again, most of my setups are community type tanks. Uh, where the electric fluorocarbons, that would be the second largest tank, which is a 75-gallon. And then I have 255s. Well, I guess technically 355s of different dimensions. And then some 20 gallons. I have the talls and the longs, and that's pretty much it. The run of the tank sizes that I run in here, but they're all set up as community tanks. They all have different species in them.
All right. Okay. Who does you want to cheer up?
Well, I guess Alex had a heater
Yeah.
stick at his tanks, and I'm not sure which tank he lost, but I guess he lost a bunch.
It
of
was
fishes.
the what shrimp has he been selling a lot of?
Oh no, it's the Malawis.
It's one of. He said he has another tank of them, but this was the mother tank, like the original tank that he had, and he had some special fish in it as well. And so we will not have a fishery probably this week. Um, he just needs some time, and is what it is, But it sucks when stuff like that happens, big time.
See, that's the stuff that drives me crazy. It's stuff we can't control,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Very, Casey, you told him to sue. I don't think you can.
No.
Oh yes, I did get it, Jennifer, but I haven't been able to open it yet. So with my Achilles, I've got, of course, the blue galars. I think everybody's heard me gripe and complain because of trying to get a hatch from them.
Are you pulling the eggs from those, or what? How are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm pulling the eggs. I waited a long time for them to have had hatched in the tank if they were going to with them, and they didn't. And so I just pulled like 40 eggs a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. But I've got them in RO water with moss.
Give me a second.
Like I have my others, and not. I just don't know. I don't know if that's okay. I need to know what the like TDSs are. Need to be in that water. If it needs to be straight RO, and if they do start hatching, or if they're not gonna, I need help with them. And there is not much info on them out there. So
I just basically look, Papa Shrimp, where I'm sending it to determine whether I'm going to ship or not. I won't ship to areas if they're over 100, just because I'm afraid that my fish will end up on the Terramax sitting out there baking.
I'm only overnight shipping. I got some angels to send to Florida to Jeffrey, and Brandon, and I think that's all I got going out this week. But
I agree, GRB. If I could get away with unheated tanks, I would do it, because heaters do cause a lot of fish death over the years.
yeah, me too.
I've lost plenty of fish to heaters.
Always have more than one tank of your fish. So if something does happen, you've got another one. My guppy and plant shipments have been arriving in good shape so far from Papa Shrimp. I do try to insulate my boxes as well as I can. Yeah. And we do, most of us know how to ship, and stuff happens. It just happens. So you just need to be, have your stipulations or rules in place, I guess.
What's going on, Rico? Good to see you, brother.
You know what? I meant to say good morning to him earlier in chat, and we got to talking, and I forgot. Good morning, Rico. It's good to see you back.
Sorry for belly on you that quick, but I had a little technical issue over here on my wife's computer, and she couldn't get. She had a Zoom meeting, and she couldn't get her camera to work, so I had to run off and help her out with that. But that's all taken care of now.
Right. You feel for Alex. You lost Alzheimer's. Brendan lost most of an 150-gallon African tank, over 20 fish, because of the heater malfunction last year. Steven says when Foxy ships to me in the next couple of weeks, she's going to use the hold at post office option so I can pick it up. Jerry says, do I pull angel eggs, or do I, and if you do, how soon after they are laid? I do both. If I need a batch, then I'll pull them, and I pull them. I don't know, when I see them stop laying the eggs, and I don't know. I'm going to say that's probably maybe not even a day, half a day. It may be a day if it goes overnight or whatever, but normally about 10 hours, and then I'm pulling them. And then if I have a pair that'll raise them and I don't necessarily need to pull another one, then I'll just let them raise them. Because it slows down it slows them down from breeding if they're raising some. So I do both. It just depends on the situation I need. So how's the heaters that the guts are outside of the tank for the Higer? I have one. It seems to work pretty well. The guts are outside of the tank.
Oh,
He's talking about the heater controls.
yeah.
Let me get it.
Yeah, but those are not necessarily controllers. It's just the display is on the outside.
I think the guts are still in the heater, right?
Yeah. Yeah, those are just the digital display. Yeah, something like that.
Like
Where
this one. But it still
temperature
has
display.
it still has the heater in here. But you just have what shows you the temp that it's pushing and where you can set it. So the only benefit to this is you can see the temperature that it is, but in Alex's case, the temperature was slowly going up, but it electrocuted them, which this can still do.
So what happened, basically the heater broke and water got into the heater and that caused it. He's lucky he didn't get shocked, really.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I do like this Higer heater. I really, really like it. But it's a heater. Wait, okay. Jess, the paper I sent is about the incubation of the blue glass eggs. Hope you find something that helps. If not, I have some eggs from a new location. If all goes well, maybe I'll have some spares. Okay, cool. Jay says, I'm glad I heat the whole fish room and removed all the tank heaters about a year ago.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I'm thinking about figuring out a way to get rid of the heaters here too.
I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my fish room outside yet when I'm building it. I haven't decided if I'm going to heat the room or if I'm going to go with heaters. Honestly, I will probably go with heaters on the ones that I want, because it will also be my office that I will have to spend, hours in doing, computer work and streaming and stuff like that. So if it's, 80 plus in that room, not going to be very comfortable working and sweating at the same time. So I will probably go with heaters too. But I know somebody said that every year that they pull all their heaters and they buy brand new ones every year. But
I haven't had to do that yet.
I buy them off Amazon. The bad deal has, like 30 of them or some 20, 30 of them at one time. But I can't afford to do that.
No, I'm not running a business to be able to pull that off.
Right. Barbara Jackson said I had an old heater from the 90s, and those two strips of metal that are inside and the glass was way thicker than any of the ones from the last 5 years. Companies are cheaping out.
Well, yeah, it's got to be a business. What's the point of if you want to stay in business, making a product that won't break?
The pros and cons of aquarium heaters would be a fascinating video. I mean, I'm sure it's already done.
Yeah.
Would be hard to. I think it would be almost hard to do, because if you got like a heater from all of them, you would have to give it a few years to know your true comparison of them, right?
Well, I don't think they're talking about doing necessarily a product review. I think it's more of what are the upsides of running heaters versus what are the downsides, like what just happened with Alex, where they can malfunction and, you know, kill all your fish. So I think that's kind of what they're alluding to, not necessarily which ones run better or you know.
Well, that's just me. I overthink everything too. So.
Well, I mean, Danny, between her and I mean, when we're feeding at night, a lot of times we'll have our little portable heat gun and we're going through and checking temps as we're feeding, just to safeguard to make sure nothing bad is happening.
Yeah, that seems like a way to go.
Yeah, I think the most cost-effective way, if you have multiple tanks, if you can heat the area where they're in, is probably going to be the best bet for you.
Yeah.
But if I understand, if that's also going to be your work area, then you want to be able to cool it off when you're in there. But
yeah,
it seems like most people that heat fish rooms, it's either because that's the fish only, or they don't spend a whole lot of time there, and if they do, then they just deal with it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys, it is already 6 past the hour, and we've got a mid-morning break to do real quick. You guys know what that means, so I'm going to throw you guys up a song, and we'll be back in just a few.
I'm here at Moody Gardens, I beg your pardon. I gotta get the shot in this spot for my fish too. I wish you would move your ass, stop touching the glass. I hate to harass, but let me take a little vid right fast. Yeah, it's Nemo, it's Dory, we all know the story. But don't forget Bruce and Crush and Bubbles and Gil. See if you can find them and let me film. Now reef preservation is quite a virtue, and every creature in the ocean has evolved to hurt you. Always swimming around, not making a sound, will take you down, you won't be found. And the scary motherfucker is invading every bay now. And speaking of pain, this is insane. Look at these jellies and let these death monsters entertain. This spot is pretty placid, probably better on acid. The lights, the motion, dripping on the ocean. People call them jellyfish, but I think you got the notion. A fish is a fish, and this is a jelly, I'm telling you, fella. And this is called the X umbrella. Nigeria, this might be my favorite area. You don't see this every day in Aquaria. And before we pivot from this exhibit, I must admit it, I got another jelly tidbit. If you've never been mired in Hydra, you might be surprised to find these guys reside in the same phylum. Hark, it's a shark, it'll bite you and leave a mark. It's kinda cool in a way, I could watch him all day, I say. But we gotta go, cause he's moving kinda slow, and I wanna pet a stingray. Now it's my first foray, but I can't see the moray. The eel, for real, up in the coral being steel. I'm gonna try to find him while he's too busy hide. Let's jump in the other line, I wanna see some seals. Of course I know my rhymes are forced. You're getting bored, you can't afford to hear no more. So here's my last report. It's a motherfucking seahorse. Surprise, bitch. It's a freshwater verse. I don't need to coerce or be terse. The song's getting worse. I just spit a random word like salami, so I can say, man, that's a big ass gourami. Now this is pretty weird, it's not my typical vibe, but if you're entertained, then I think you should subscribe and hit the like. I know it's trite, but the algorithm's always right, so tell the feed you want to see more of me, Stephen P. 2003.
Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always.
All right. Okay.
All right.
I should have put sensitive or something right before I played Moody Gardens. Forgot about that. Not for kids. This song is not for kids. Oops. Because everybody's still just talking about them heaters.
I guess so.
What?
So the way that I found you was through Aquafunk. So you do a stream with Aquafunk, right?
No, I don't. I don't stream with him. Yeah, what happened is he's kind of been my mentor into getting into doing YouTube. I was following him for quite a while. Oh, where'd Jess go?
She's there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I was following him like I followed many of you guys before, and just kind of hanging out in the streams and chatting with the community. And what happened with him was on one of his live streams, just right before the end of it, I just kind of told him that I was looking at probably starting a fish club down in Mexico, and he kind of said, well, that'd be kind of cool if you can record that whole process and kind of document it and see the progression of it. So that's how our conversation started, and I told him, well, I'll see what I can do, because we were going to have our first meeting like the following week after that live stream, and we were getting ready to do. I think that was actually when this is after the whole pandemic stuff, right. And we were prior to that, we had been contemplating doing it. That kind of got put on hold because of what was going on.
Yeah.
And all the restrictions and what you couldn't do and could do. So that kind of put it on hold for about a year and a half. But the problem was, even though things were changing here stateside, on the other side, they were about a year behind. So they still had a lot of other types. The similar restrictions that we had here were being implemented down there and limiting stuff. So when we finally got around to having our first actual physical meeting, the momentum we had created prior to that had kind of already died down, and so we didn't get the big turnout that we were expecting and we had kind of hoped for.
Was that Danny that walked by? We heard her shut the door. It went.
I don't know.
That was Danny heading to her mama's.
So doors
that open and shut on like a video or something. Sorry, that got tickled me.
I felt like we were in October.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
And so I was able to document that first meeting that we had. We had a pretty good turnout, but because of still the I guess the fear of people, it lost momentum. And I've tried reaching out to see if there's still some interest. People have kind of moved on and done other things, and that did put a financial difficulty in a lot of people too. So right now their focus is on trying to recuperate and not necessarily doing the fish stuff. So I don't know. It's still kind of like on hiatus. I don't know if it's still a thing that's going to happen or not. I know I've reached out to the core group, and everybody's kind of right now doing different things. So it's on hold for right now. We'll see. We'll revisit that maybe once the weather lets up. That's the other thing that we have going against us, is that if we're trying to do outdoor venues, it's real difficult to find a place that'll be cool enough with enough shade to be able to hold a public gathering. within the last few months, though, I think things have relaxed a little bit more down there in Mexico. But now it's the question of finding a hall that has air conditioning that we can rent to be able to hold our meetings. So it's still you know, kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Right.
So that's kind of been put on the back burner for the time being. But that's how my, I guess, friendship with Jason started, was in the process of me mentioning that. He asked me to document it. Once I had the footage, I said, all right, now I've never put up anything on YouTube or anything like that. And he kind of gave me the information as far as some of the apps that I could use to edit the videos. And I kind of pieced it together, and he kind of looked at it and said, oh, you might want to do this and this, that. So he gave me a little bit of input on what to do. And that's how it started. And he's kind of somebody that I've always gone back to and asked for advice and opinions on my videos and stuff like that. Always trying to do my own style and not trying to, because, you know, as you all know, Aquafun has a very particular kind of quirky style that he does. And so I tried not to emulate none of that, because that's his style.
Yeah.
And, you know, ultimately I just want to be myself. So,
right.
But I do take a lot of the information that the tips on how to put together a video, what kind of information you need to do that. I've taken some of his advice, incorporated into my videos. So that's how that started. What we do have, though, is I do a live stream, and it's every other Saturday, but it's with Steven from Warrior Planet Tanks.
Okay.
And we run that. It's 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and it's every other Saturday. And we purposely did that
up on fishfam.link.
I believe it is. I know Matt has reached out and has been very helpful with that. And I think we are up there. We're on the calendar. Okay. And so we usually go right after Ben Ochart.
Sweet.
On Saturdays.
Okay. Well, good deal. Well, you guys hold your horses just a moment. We got something to play. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. I am going to figure out how to record the screen so y'all can see what we get to see during the behind scene. Only Oscars, thank you very much for that.
Kenny was really feeling the song.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But put any beat to something, I will dance, I'll tell you.
Yeah, what he does in behind scenes, he will do in front of you. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
No, not one bit. So you're at what, 300 plus subscribers right now?
I think so.
We need to get you up there.
He's like I was at that point. Who cares? I'm just here to have a good time.
Well, that's kind of what it's been. I mean, I'm not trying to. I see too many people stress about it.
It's nothing.
This to me is an enjoyment. I like, because I get to interact with you guys at a different level than just being on the screen. That's predominantly why I did this. It's just to try to be part of just the community and be able to get to know more people. Because like I said, I'm out here in the little bubble, and the only time I really get to interact with a lot more people in the hobby is when I go to the fish club meetings, and those are once a month.
So that one is close to you, though, that you're just a part of?
Either one of them is a 3-hour drive.
Oh, good grief.
So either one, and they both go on the same weekend, so I have to choose which direction I'm going. And it's nothing against the guys in Phoenix, but I'm in the heat, and to go to the heat, I just don't see too much sense in it. So I'd rather go to San Diego, where the weather's about 80 degrees, and it's on the beach.
I used to love San Diego, Dana Point and stuff, man. We'd like go out there and chill. Danny and I would. That was back in our dating years, so that was fun back then.
Yeah, so usually when we go to San Diego, I make a weekend out of it. My wife will go up with me. We'll go out go cruise the city, go do all the touristy things. We love it because you can eat outdoors, and it's just beautiful weather down there during the summer.
Yeah, I don't think they ever have burning hot. It's always just perfect, like 80 to 85, and always a nice little breeze off the coast. It's just, I love San Diego.
Does it get cold at all?
Not really.
No.
Not really. They're pretty mild winters. They're in the 40s maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's cold for us.
Yeah.
You know,
if you go down there, you know, closer to dark, when the sun goes down, that wind will be a little chilly on you. Bring a light jacket, you're good.
Yeah, a little hoodie or something.
Dr. Anthony gave us a $10 $9.99 super chat for putting up with my nonsense. I don't know what you're talking about. What nonsense? But hey,
hold on now. I think it should have been more.
I'll tell you what I do have, though. Let me see. Where did it go?
Dr. Anthony.
No, it's going to be...
What are you doing, Jess?
I got something was sent to me. I got it that I don't remember where I put it. I didn't save it when I should have.
Oh God! So he took me literally. Now he raised it to $19.99.
What? Did he really? Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
There you go, Jenny. Oh, you're funny, Doc. I was just playing, but hey, she'll take it. Yeah. I might have to dance for that one.
Hey, here we go. All right.
Hey, Kenny, don't injure yourself now.
Right.
Hey, those $20 ones get my blood flowing.
There you go.
And
what's her name?
We messed her up. Sorry, Jess.
What's her name? Gina sent me your clip, and I was trying to find it so I could play it.
Yeah, Gina has definitely gotten her money's worth out of that clip.
I'm going to add it to the butt dance, but
Ryan and Shanna got me good yesterday too.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. She put a short out. They had a good old time. I managed to dump my barbecue grill on myself yesterday. It did not.
Oh.
Wasn't hot. It was empty. But yeah. Of course, they had to do a video at that exact juncture. So.
Here we go. I found it. All right.
You may throw out your hip next. I've already got bad hips there, ABC.
All right. Just for you, Doc. Oh, wait. That's the wrong thing. Share screen. Okay.
And we're gone.
Jeez Louise. I think the funniest part is watching Skipper and Jason and them.
Right.
But those, I'm going to tell you, Jess, those two above me there were supposed to be doing it with me.
I know.
They chickened out at the last minute and then made fun of me.
That was so wrong of them. Well, I got it now, and it will be added to the butt dance. So. Thank you, Doc. Kenny and Jess dance off. Well, you know, we might have to see a few more of those.
Last week it was they wanted me to do a twerk off with Eric Wyrock.
Oh. That'd be a good one.
Mm.
That would be a good one. Speaking of, I ain't heard from him this morning.
Is Eric going to be in his Rico Stance tights?
Right? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh, thanks for that mental image.
No, I just don't know about that one.
Oh, now we got Jess thinking about it. Her face is turning red. It's not the morning show until we get Jess red as my truck.
Oh. And I go, ooh. ABC Aquatic Biotype Creations, good morning. And he says he's going to wear a pair of them to the Clash.
Oh. Oh my God, Kenny.
Well, you guys, Miss Dee Dee has got us something to play here. So hold on. We're going to play it for her, for us. And for those of us that do it for us.
Doc. Got to get up out of this bed. Got to brush these fangs and find something to wear.
Which world? I don't hear her spit.
Oh, man. Now Dr. Anthony says he needs to pee.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem, Doc. You might need to get that checked out. John McKenzie, good morning. Mike. Good to see you. Good to see you. And then I did say good morning to ABC Quiet Budget and Whips World. Did I miss anybody else just come in? I don't think so. There's a lot of people in here this morning. I do greatly appreciate it. And so does Mexicali Fishkeeper and Kenny E. Dee Dee, oh my gosh, not going there. I almost said it.
Yeah, you did too. I was wondering if you were going to catch it in time.
You trying to get me in trouble this morning, Doc.
Well,
ABC, yes, the darters. The darters are doing great. They settled in. They're in a 30-gallon. They're the cutest freaking little things. They're just like gobies. I mean, they really are. They act just like them. They got their big, perch feet, and they just kind of scurry along the bottom, and then they get on the rocks and the plants and just kind of sit there and watch everything. They're cute as all get out. They're not adults yet, so they're still coloring up. So I can't wait to see what their full color, especially on the males, finally comes in at. They're starting to get some of that orange, so they're pretty cool.
Sorry, Jesse, what kind of gobies you got?
They're rainbow darters.
Oh, rainbow darters.
Mm-hmm. Yep, rainbow darters. And I got them from I got them from Jonah's Aquariums, and he does mainly
Native fish.
that's right, native fish. So yes, they did. I won. Somebody gave me their. I think it was Steven, gave me his. He won a gift certificate, and I was originally wanting rainbow shiners, which I'm still going to get some rainbow shiners later, but I ran across the rainbow darters on his list of things that he had, and I really, really liked them.
So,
So I got them instead of the rainbow shiners.
why do you think that native fish are not as popular in our hobby here, since we can have access to them? Is it because they're not easy to get, or
No, I would say it's more so depending on what state you're in. Some states won't allow you to keep them.
okay?
So I think that's why the popularity isn't as big as it could be. Some of
Well,
these
and
states.
I think we have we're able to get our hands on other things, and sometimes the more tropical looking fish they're prettier, than per se a native fish that you grew up seeing, forever and ever. Kind of like saltwater, the colors just draw you in. I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Well, that's good to hear. Only Oscars. I'm glad you got shrimplets. That's cool.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
because it just seems like I was not cued into native fish until recently, probably this last year. I've seen more content on them, and some of the stuff that they have that they're putting out there, their fish are very colorful and really
yes,
nice. I mean, rainbow shiners are one of those that I guess maybe last year and a half that you start hearing more and more about, and you see them, and they're really, really nice fish. I know Kenny from ABC. He's put out a couple of videos on some of the darters that he's done, and some of those colors could rival any of the saltwater fish that I've seen. I don't know if it's just because just the males are the ones that color up or not, but
right.
actually I have a set of Australian desert gobies that I forgot to mention earlier, and the males, they have this yellow and purple color on them that's really, really nice. I mean, I'm just not. I don't understand how more people don't keep them.
When I think of native fish, my mind is drawn directly to like a brim or a bass, like not so much color, just more plain. That's what I just automatically think of. But I know that there are, just like these darters, I mean, very pretty native fish, but I think we're able to get our hands on other things as well, and so one rivals the other, but not
I'll
to
tell
say,
you though, guys like Kenny with the ABC Aquatics and Coldwater Aquatics Brandon will make you want to keep them.
right?
Yeah.
That's right. Mexicali, Whips World said I went to watch your short because his short is not really a short, but is the one we're using for the short of the day here on the Aquatic Morning Show. He said he went to watch it. It was not very short, but during the 10 o'clock hour break and realized that he wasn't subbed. So everybody, please make sure you are subbed to him. And it happens. I was subbed on this side, on the main Sales Fur and Fin side, but on the Aquatic Morning Show channel, I wasn't yet. So I went and did that yesterday. But yes, meaning native fish are just as attractive as more so than in many tropical species. I'm not going to argue. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that would keep me from keeping them is the temperatures, because I know most of those run in cold creeks, and I'm nowhere near that.
Yeah, that's I keep that's why they're down, on the floor instead of up in one of these other tanks. So Jimmy P, good morning, and Sean Arthur, good morning. He said he has. My goodness, I'm having a hard time reading chat. I have to agree. Even just some melanistic gambusia.
Gambusia. Basically mosquito fish.
Looks super cool.
Yeah, those are stocked in our waterways down here just to mitigate some of the mosquitoes in the area.
That's the mosquito fish?
Yeah.
Ah.
We got them all over up here too.
Debbie Holding, good morning. Good to see you. Good you came and popped in, Eric. You must have had a thing going on this morning. Oh, and somebody was asking about Eduardo. No, he's okay. He's been real busy. Something's been going on in the morning time, so he hasn't been able to participate. But he's listening. So.
Oh, okay.
Wait, they should go by this time. They saw you the last time.
The gambusa are super hardy. It became invasive in Russia, where it's so cold.
They're a hardy little fish. They can live in a broad range of temps.
Wow.
But if the problem with them, they get into waterways also. They're very prolific, so they take over a waterway pretty quick. When we were collecting, when everybody was here for Fishtoberfest last year, my buddy and I went spot collecting, and I mean, almost every net we'd have 5 to 10 of those in there.
Wow. I thought I had one off of a plant that I bought from the pond plant store, but it ended up being a native killie, but we just don't know what kind of killie it was. Because it was not it was bigger than, it was actually about the size of the gardener eye. But it was a female, so it was just, all one color. I wish I couldn't have known what it was before we gave it back, but I would have kept it. But they pulled it out of just the creek.
Mm.
I would love to find some and snick bass. How do you say that word?
I'm trying to see where you're at here.
At ABC. I love to find something bass.
Authentic bass.
Is that how you say authentic?
Authentic.
Extenic.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
I think the reason people don't lean towards native fish, most of us are used to seeing fish that are either dirty green or brown and don't explore beyond that. Yes, totally agree.
Yeah.
I do.
No, I love the pumpkin seed and
Xanthic. Eric Barlock says xanthic.
Xanthic.
They avoid eating the gambusa because of the spine on their dorsal.
I will check it out after the stream there, Mr. ABC.
Texas Native Aquatics. Texas Native Aquatics. Is it the same
No, that's not Texas Fish Room, I don't think.
fish room?
Uh-uh.
He didn't change his name. Well, good morning. Some killifish are live bears. I just looked it up to be sure. Cool.
I thought I had heard that. That's why I wasn't sure, so I wasn't gonna, hold my
Right.
ground on that one.
I'll tell you, Verily's been doing a lot of videos of late. I've been seeing quite a few being dropped by her lately.
Yes.
So is there anything in your fish room you don't have you want to get in the near future there, Mexicali?
Well, I guess eventually, like most of us that are getting to the hobby, at one point or another want to be able to keep discus. And
Well, you got the right temps, obviously. You do.
Yeah. So I think if I were to, well, actually, it's in the works as far as being able to get a tank indoors. It's just a matter of because now that I've done a couple of the store tours, my wife has been with me and she's seen the real display tanks that they have at the stores, and you have those long like 6 foot tanks that are rimless with the Euro bracing on the inside. She really likes that look and how they're planted, and she goes, "If you can set something up like that, I'll let you keep it in the house." So now it's
Ah,
now it's just a matter of saving up money to be able to buy something like
yeah.
that.
Take if you're talking like a 55 or 60 that size, you're talking some banks.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's a possibility. So now it's just a matter of putting some pennies away, and I know she's green lighted that, but it's got to be well scaped, and a display tank basically is what I would have to set up, and I think that's where I would eventually end up getting the discus, just because there's such a visual attraction just to see them in there.
That's the Gulf killifish. That's live bear.
Yeah, we actually have. We don't know how we got them here, but we have the banded killies out of North Carolina in our waters here now. I actually
Wow.
have some out in the pond right now.
Baits and Genetics, good morning.
I got to see him yesterday. He hung out with us here at the Daniken
Oh,
house for our
wow. Jennifer
club
Weaver says
cookout.
there's a killie that is a hermaphrodite.
Huh.
Wow. Mike has a discus in a 400-gallon outside, and they're thriving. I've never understood why people think discus are hard to keep.
Yeah, I don't think that, not anymore.
Yeah, those tank raised ones are so easy compared to what they used to be.
Yeah, so I don't think they're that's the issue. I think it's more if you keep discus and you want to keep them right, you do need the bigger tanks, and that's just it's just the cost, really. Yeah, I'm not really planning on breeding them as much as having them as a show tank.
Yeah, right. I know that Greg 3G, he used to have discus, and he didn't do anything special to them. His TDS coming out of his cap is over I think it was over 600. It was like coming out of the tap, and that's what he had them in. He said we didn't have all the good cool stuff that's going on these days. He said they just did. Now the babies was a whole different story. They would, I think he said they would be born, but they wouldn't live past a certain amount of time. Texas Native Aquatics says that he's got a pair of Gulf killifish. Crypto. Okay. He says that Gulf killifish are not live bearing. Well, then they're lying on that list. Live bearers and killifish. Supposed to be the. Oh well.
Hey, Kenny.
Yes.
Hey, your guys' event that you guys are having up there for October, the Oktoberfest.
Fishtoberfest.
Yeah, is that like a 3-day event, or is it just a Sunday?
It's Saturday and Sunday this year.
Oh, Saturday. Okay.
And then if you were going to come up, I'd recommend coming up Friday night, because there'll be a Daniken party here Friday night, then another party most likely Saturday night. It's usually a good time. And this year is going to be particularly fun because we got Dr. Anthony, Alex, Bentley, Stephen P. doing his thing, and then Chris Biggs. So it's going to be a wild bunch up here this time.
Oh, okay.
And Skipper.
Yep, Skipper's going to be here visiting. It's going to be a good time.
Yep.
And last year, I mean, the stuff that you could find, and this year we're doing an auction as well. So the auction will be Sunday. There'll be a lot of cool stuff. Just from the people in my club, I know what is out there. So I can imagine what else we'll get in trouble with.
So is it more like a club meeting with guest speakers?
No, it's definitely
It's
an event. There's
Okay.
vendor tables, and yeah, it's a good time. Last year was amazing.
So they're still talking about the killifish in chat, and that the killifish are egg laying, and that is how they are put in their classification. So there is no true
Live bear.
live bearing killifish, is what they're saying. So look at Bob.
We've run him out of lurking mode.
Right?
Yes,
Good to
Mr.
see you,
Steamthought makes appearances at Fishtoberfest too.
Yes. Good to see you, Bob. I am bringing some of the full red pencilfish to the auction at Oktoberfest.
Ooh. That makes it worth it in itself, don't it?
Barbara Jackson says she's planning on coming to Fishtoberfest. I keep calling it Oktoberfest.
Everybody does.
Fishtoberfest.
Yeah.
I heard you say it the other night. Same thing.
Yep. Tomato.
That's right.
So is there going to be beer there?
Well, if you know the Kenny E parties, maybe.
I don't. Not yet.
There's a little bit of everything, man. We'll
All
just
right.
leave it at that.
ABC wants to know, can I bid online?
No, unfortunately, we don't have the ability for you to be participating in the auction online.
Yes, sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, Steven.
Oh my God, there better be something stronger than beer.
You know you will be. I mean, I'm going to need it just to tolerate you and Skipper in the same house all weekend.
Y'all are rotten. Well, you guys, we've got some live streams coming up the rest of today. So let's
And now for the Monday
let them
live streams
show.
at Eastern Standard Time. Don't touch that dial. We start the morning with Father Fish at 9 a.m. And at 10, it's the Aquatic Morning Show on Maine's Tails, Fur and Fins. That's Jess and the crew on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And at 12:15, it's Rico Stand with Afternoon Chat Delight. And at 3, it's Geek Out with Chattanooga Ed and Rico on Chattanooga Ed's channel. At 4, it's Corvus Awesome. And Stephen P. and Kelly Foreman on at 5 with Wet Your Plants. And most likely the star of the show, Fat Kitty, will make an appearance. And it's Monday Musings at 6 on Fantastic Freaks. That's awesome. At 7, it's Monday Mayhem with Mr. and Mrs. Metalhead. It's Josh and Jess. And at 7, it's the members only stream on Steamboat Aquatics, followed by the regular stream. At 8, that's Bob, if you didn't know. And at 9, it's Grant and Shelby, the Garden of Eater. And at 10, it's In the Hot Spot with Fishy Biz Aquatics. How hot will it get? And at 10:30, it's the Secret History Living in Your Aquarium with Alex. And that concludes the Monday lineups. And Matt, Liquid Zoo, thanks for making this information easy to find at fishfam.link. And Lefty32138, thanks for your live stream calendar on your site as well.
Thank you, Dee Dee, so much for doing that for us. Y'all are being y'all are being a mess in chat. I love it. Well, Mexicali, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it was good to finally stream with you.
Yeah. Are you putting
Thank you.
out many more videos? You're going to keep going with it?
Yeah, no, I'm still putting out stuff. I'm always trying to find things around here that might be interesting. Just kind of sharing my experience with anybody that wants to see it. I've been trying to go down to Mexicali, and there's like three or four different LFSs down there that I want to be able to tour, just so that people get an idea of how they do it down there. There's one that's pretty interesting. They do saltwater and they do freshwater, and I know when I had first gone to them the first couple of times, their tanks were in a little bit of disarray. Well, not so much the tank, but the fish. But I went back recently and something happened. Management must have changed or something, because it was really, really, really nice, and the fish looked very healthy. So that's one of the stores that I definitely want to go back and try to film and share that with everybody. And and then the other thing is just doing our live streams on every other Saturday on Fish Plants y Mas, and see how that goes and progresses.
Right. Well,
But yeah, I'll still be around.
If we get the notifications, we're usually there lurking anyway. I'm a big lurker. Normally I do try to say hi, but sometimes I just can't.
Yeah, I do a lot of my because of my work schedule. I'll lurk on a lot of the streams.
Right.
If I have, depending on the time of or the shift that I'm working, sometimes it's usually like the afternoons or the graveyard shifts, I have a lot of downtime. But during the mornings is usually when we're the busiest. So I'll just kind of play it in the background and listen to it while I'm working.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell y'all a real story real quick that happened to me this weekend at, y'all know that we went to the rapids, or to the little stream floating, and it was the first time that we've ever done that with the tubes. And we were done. We had stopped. We'd done the whole thing, and we were waiting on the shuttle to take us back to our vehicles. And me and Landon were both sitting on our ice chest, and it's hot. We've been swimming and sweating and everything, and now we can't get in the water because it's further down the bank. And so we're up there and we're sitting there waiting on this shuttle to come, and Landon is sitting beside me on the ice chest. And I guess when I was talking, of course I talk with my hands, so I kept bumping him with my shoulder, and he turns around and he says, "Quit bumping me, you're sticky." And so I kind of bump him again like that, and he turns around and he grabs me. Well, then I grab him, and we end up falling back, and I landed on the GoPro. And broke the GoPro screen, and I landed on it on my back. But not only that, we sat there and wrestled, and I got my arms around him and my legs around him, and I was just like, I had him pinned and I wasn't letting go. It didn't matter how hard I was hurting, I wasn't letting go. But it was a good, I had to say, bonding spirit. It had a blessed time. It was so much fun. But I don't usually get to do that, so I really can't complain about falling and hurting my back and crushing the GoPro because I was playing with Landon. But oh my gosh, it was a mess. We were covered in pine straw, and dirt. It was awful.
Hot, sweaty, and so basically you just the sweat made it so it'd stick to you like glue, probably.
Yes, it was so bad. I had to go back down and get back in the river and like rinse everything off, including my hair. I had another shirt on. I took that off, rinsed that off, and like people around us are looking at me like, "Oh my God, is this lady taking a bath?" I mean,
I thought you were some homeless lady made her way to the river.
And then Landon was back or down there too, and I was like, "Get it off my back, splash on my back, splash." We looked like some nuts. It was fun though. It was fun, but yeah. I wish I could have, if I wouldn't have broke the GoPro, stuff like that. I wish we could get on camera. So that would have been a lot of fun to watch, to see. But yeah, just any fish, your life. We like to see all of it, you know.
Yeah.
We're very nosy and inquisitive people.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I wish I had recorded when I was setting it up, but it's, you get to working. You come in here thinking you're going to do something, and then before you know it, you start rearranging something, yes. and when you're done, you're going, "Oh, I could have recorded that." You know, but it is what it is. I mean, I think I'm still more in the mindset of a hobbyist first, and I'm a tuber second. I haven't made that switch yet, where as much as I say, yeah, I'm going to film that, I come in here and I start tinkering, and before I know it, I'm done, and I'm going, I was supposed to record that. Why didn't I do it? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to get used to like carrying the phone around with you and document everything, and then you throw it all in a written video. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll still be making videos and trying to keep it interesting. Good. Good deal. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here on the morning show. Thank you for the super stickers and super chats. Thank you. And I think Rico is going next. If he starts, I'm not sure what time, like either it's now or in 15 minutes. I can't remember. I don't know what he's doing, or maybe he's just waiting until I stop. But thank you guys for being here. Kenny, thank you. Dot, thanks for coming up. And Mexicali, thank you for being a guest. Thank you. Thank you for having me over. To the replay crew and the people in chat, thank you very much. And Miss Lori, again, also, thank you for being a mod. So with that, you guys, we're out of here. We'll see you back in the morning.
It's a live ever mosh pit. So watch it, don't knock it, drop and fry every day, ain't gon' stop it. People saying hey and whoa and take it slow, it's out of control, but they don't know I got a mother-loving biome. Nature! So leave it alone, they're doing fine in a happy home. Making babies with their fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers is kinda gross, but you know that's the way it goes. Now I'm in the midst of a colony blitz. It all started with a batch of fry. The mama died, but the baby survived and grew up and thrived. Then the guppies kicked the breeding into overdrive. What was accidental and incremental blew up into an exponential and totally mental experimental hit. And the fish police threw a fit. I guess they just couldn't handle my live bearer mosh pit. Best not front on me about this company, 'cause you can't spell guppy without that one and only G. You might think from this rhyme that I'm mucking up guppy lines. Ain't got no crooked spine or time to hear you whine. Stop the fish police, I'm making Making hybrids I desire to acquire and combine entire lines designed to inspire and surprise and advertise the rise of my monkey fighting live bearer empire. You looking all distraught, you think it's overstocked, but you got no shot to sway me, you're an afterthought. Yeah, I got guppies getting blitzed on duckweed. Had enough of these, well they don't stop and neither do we. You might call it a challenge, it's a foot per gallon. Your rationale is sound, but it's a little unfounded, cause I'm gonna be crowned as the best flippin' mud guppy breeder around. On this earth, and my mutts, I assert, are gonna make you a convert to a chaotic tank that doesn't take much effort or the hand of an expert. Look, all I did was rap and 5 guppies just gave birth. Best not front on me, mount this colony, cause you can't spell guppy without that one and only G. You might think from this rhyme that I'm mucking up guppy lines. Ain't got no crooked spines, all time to hear you whine, cause you best not front on me, mount this colony, cause you can't spell guppy without that one and only G. If you wanna do like I do, fertilize the plants with fish food, don't fret about being overrun, just chill and have some fun. I got the new genetics for the color theoretics, a different aesthetic, it's cosmetic and frenetic. If you don't get it, I do, I got a vision, it's eidetic, and your derision, well it's really quite pathetic. Uh-oh. Now you see a bunch of platties, they're looking fatty, you think it's fatty, and the plants are overgrown, getting kinda ratty. It's alright little laddie, just look me in the eye and tell me who's your daddy. Best not front on me, mount this colony, cause you can't spell guppy without that one and only G. You might think from this rhyme that I'm mucking up guppy lines. Ain't got no crooked spines, all time to hear you whine, cause you best not front on me, mount this colony, cause you can't spell guppy without that one and only G. If you wanna do like I do, fertilize the plants with fish food, don't fret about being overrun, just chill and have some fun. Yeah. You think I give a fudge about some algae? What, you afraid of shiznit getting too natural up in this biznatch? Good sir, dispose your TDS meter for it measures organic and inorganic solids, and it's more beneficial to learn the chemistry of your water. Thank you very much. If you wanna do like I do, fertilize the plants with fish food, don't fret about being overrun, just chill and have some fun.